Very good morning to all of you, my dear students. Today we are here to start our class, and today we will explore photosynthesis even further. Today we will start our class with a very interesting story. Do you know that back then in the past, people believed that plant gets all the nutrients from the soil itself. Okay, the role of water, carbon dioxide, sunlight was still not known to the humankind. Okay, we were believing that plants are rooted in the soil and they absorb all the nutrients to make their body from the soil itself. Okay, but during the first half of the 17th century, a Dutch physicist and alchemist, you know what are alchemists? Alchemists are those scientists, kind of scientists, which were doing research to turn different types of substances into gold. They were believing that there is a hypothetical philosopher's stone, which if you will find or you will make one of them, then whichever metal you will touch with that stone will turn into gold. That was a belief, but that philosopher's stones was never found. Okay, so he was also an alchemist and a physicist. His name was Jan Baptist van Helmont. Okay, Jan Baptist van Helmont. He did an experiment. What he did, that he took a tree and weighted his mass. Okay, and he found that it is 2.5 kilograms, and the soil in which a pot was kept, in which 91 kgs of soil was there. Okay, after a few years he keep on watering it and taking care of the plant. After a few years, the plant becomes 0.5, or let's say 70 or 80 kilograms the plant become, but the soil was reduced only a few grams. Okay, like 50 grams or something like that. So if the soil is still there, but the plant has grown so big, acquired so much of mass, then there must be something else from which it is taking its bodybuilding material. And he proposed that it is water, because the water was the only thing he poured into it continuously, and he proposed that plants build their body with water. Okay, so, and this was quite true, but the role of carbon dioxide and sunlight was still not recognized. This way we did experiments and come to the conclusion. Today also we will do a lot of experiments, and we will explore how these things are related to the photosynthesis process, and how they help us, how are they helping us. So for this purpose, this is the name of the chapter, photosynthesis in plants, and today we will explore and do all the experiments related to this chapter. So let us begin the adventure. Okay, so my dear students, let's see the process of photosynthesis first. Okay, what is the process of photosynthesis? So by the book it says that when carbon dioxide and water reacts in the presence of sunlight, they are converted to glucose. It is a type of carbohydrate, and it is a type of carbohydrate, and they are prepared food. Okay, so carbon dioxide and water reacts in the presence of sunlight to form glucose. Okay, how, why? Because these things we will see in this class. Second thing, it says that oxygen evolved during the process of photosynthesis. Oxygen is evolved, okay, during the process of photosynthesis. The energy of light is converted into chemical energy and stored in the synthesized carbohydrate food. Okay, so the energy for making the, just like we need energy na, just like LPGs, the petroleums, the cylinder, we use it for making our food, and that energy is replaced by sunlight in case of plants. Okay, so now let's see a video about the process of photosynthesis.
Forget about their important contribution. Plants are an absolute. The amazing process of photosynthesis. A look around at nature is an absolute treat to our senses. We all enjoy the colors and fragrance of plants, but seem to forget about their important contribution. Plants are an absolute necessity for life on Earth. It is so because of the process of photosynthesis. A closer look at a plant shows that it is firmly held in the soil by the help of roots. These roots absorb water from the soil and through the tiny tubes transport it to the stem and then to the leaves. The stem holds the leaves in such a way that they absorb maximum energy from sunlight. A leaf is a very important part of the plant. Photosynthesis, the ultimate provider of food and oxygen, occurs in the leaf. A leaf consists of a flat, thin lamina, which is joined to the stem by a petiole. The flattened lamina provides large surface area for trapping sunlight. A cross-section of the leaf shows the upper and lower layers of cells, which are flat and irregular. Below the upper layer is the layer of tightly packed cells.
These things are not given in our book, but just for understanding, we can have a look inside the leaf, okay?
These cells have specialized organelles called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts contain the pigment chlorophyll, which gives the green color to the leaf. The next layer has loosely arranged cells with large air spaces. The section also shows tubes specific for transporting the absorbed water into the leaves. The lower layer has many pores called stomata. Each stoma is surrounded by two guard cells, which regulate opening and closing of the stomata. A leaf absorbs carbon dioxide from the environment through these stomata, which after passing through air spaces, enter into the chlorophyll-containing cells. Both water and carbon dioxide molecules are finally absorbed by the chloroplast. These chloroplasts also have the capacity for trapping energy from sunlight. And this energy is used to synthesize glucose and oxygen from carbon dioxide and water. These oxygen and glucose molecules diffuse out of the chloroplast. The glucose is transported through other specialized tubes to all parts of the plant, aiding in their growth. The oxygen present in these air spaces diffuses out through the stomata. So, during photosynthesis, oxygen is given as the life-sustaining gaseous component of the atmosphere, while glucose or food is transported to all parts of the plant and used for growth. To summarize, green plants can make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Plants are held in the soil with the help of roots. These roots absorb water and send it to the leaves through specialized tubes. The lower layer has many pores called stomata. A leaf absorbs carbon dioxide from the environment through these stomata. Both water and carbon dioxide molecules are finally absorbed by the chloroplast. We're in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. They synthesize glucose and release oxygen. The oxygen diffuses out through the stomata. The glucose is transported through other specialized tubes to all parts of the plant, aiding in their growth.
Okay, so this is it. Now the reaction of photosynthesis says that 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water, which is H2O. Okay, they are combined in presence of sunlight and the process of photosynthesis is done, and 1 molecule of glucose, which is C6H12O6. The chemical formula of glucose is C6H12O6, and 6 molecules of oxygen. Okay, so 6 of carbon dioxide, 6 of water, 6 of oxygen will be formed, and 1 glucose will be formed. You have to memorize this formula, okay, to write it in the examination. Okay, now let's explore different aspects of photosynthesis. First of all, we will see that presence of a starch. If photosynthesis is done, my dear students, we saw that glucose is formed, and that glucose is used in two ways. First way, that the plant will use it to make their own food, and second way, they will keep it in form of a starch for to use in the night and some days where the sun is not there. Just like we store fat, na? Similarly plants store starch. Okay, so let us test this, the presence of a starch. One thing beforehand, I will tell you that iodine solution is a solution which we can get from any chemical store, which if we will pour on starch, it turns blue black. This is the main thing which will be needed in all the reactions. Okay, so first let's see how the presence of starch is tested.
Do you know that leaves of plants produce glucose through photosynthesis? The excess. Take a leaf from a plant that has been exposed to sunlight. Test tube, spirit lamp. Take a leaf from a plant that has been exposed to sunlight for several hours. Place the leaf in boiling water. This will kill the leaf, disrupt the cell membrane, and soften the cell walls, allowing the iodine to enter the cells and react. Now put the leaf in a test tube and cover it with alcohol. Keep the test tube in the boiling water. The chlorophyll slowly dissolves into the alcohol. Note that alcohol turns green. Removal of chlorophyll will help us observe the color change of iodine clearly. Place the bleached leaf in a petri dish. Pour iodine solution over it. Note the color of the leaf. It changes to dark green. This is because iodine combines with starch present in the leaf and forms a violet-colored complex. This shows that starch is present in leaves. Now cover a leaf with a black paper for a couple of days and do the same test. See if it still has starch.
Thank you very much, but it will not have starch once the photosynthesis is stopped for a couple of days. Okay, so by definition it says that some glucose is utilized by the plants for producing energy. The rest of the glucose is converted into starch and stored as reserve food in various parts of the plant. So the presence of a starch is a definite surety that photosynthesis has been done, otherwise from where it will come. Okay. Now let's move further and see plants gives us oxygen. So let's test it. That is it true that plants gives us oxygen?
Let us see about an experiment on photosynthesis. The test tube and funnel experiment. The test tube funnel experiment demonstrates that oxygen is evolved during photosynthesis. A few branches of hydrilla are kept in a beaker containing pond water in which a small amount of sodium bicarbonate is dissolved. The branches are covered with a glass funnel and a test tube full of water is kept inverted over the stem of the funnel as shown in the diagram. Now the apparatus is kept in sunlight for 4 to 6 hours. The gas bubbles may be observed from the ends of hydrilla branches kept within the glass funnel. These gas bubbles are collected in the test tube by the downward displacement of water. The gas is tested for oxygen. When a burnt splinter is taken near the mouth of the tube, it glows brightly and proves that the gas is oxygen. The test tube and funnel experiment demonstrates that oxygen is evolved during photosynthesis.
Okay, so thank you very much. This gentleman explained us that how oxygen is evolved during photosynthesis, and now we will have a look. Plant gives us oxygen, this is very simple. And now the importance of raw materials required for photosynthesis. So oxygen is evolved, starch is produced, but what are the raw materials which are needed for the process of photosynthesis? This we will explore now. These are the raw materials as you can see in this picture. And there is a myth, my dear students, there is a myth that plant take off only oxygen, gives off only oxygen, okay? But this is really a myth. The fact is that it is not that plant gives off only oxygen. Oxygen is released during the process of photosynthesis and carbon dioxide during the process of respiration. So plants also give out carbon dioxide during the process of respiration, just like other animals. Okay. Now carbon dioxide, the presence of carbon dioxide or CO2.
Carbon dioxide is essential for photosynthesis. Here is a small activity that will demonstrate that carbon dioxide is essential for the process of photosynthesis. Select a potted, healthy plant with long and narrow leaves. Keep it in the dark for 2 or 3 days. This will ensure that the leaves are free from starch. Now, take a wide-mouthed glass bottle with a cork to close the mouth of the bottle. Split the cork vertically. On the day of the experiment, take 5 to 10 milliliters of potassium hydroxide solution in the bottle. Potassium hydroxide absorbs the carbon dioxide present in the bottle. Early in the morning, insert 1/2 of a selected leaf into the bottle through the split cork without cutting it from the plant. The other half of the leaf or the base part is to be left.
This way, my dear students, what we did, we absorbed the carbon dioxide which was already present in the bottle, because there is air and air contains carbon dioxide, and the half is fully exposed to carbon dioxide. Okay, segregated between half leaf with carbon dioxide, half leaf without carbon dioxide. Rest, sunlight, water are given to it. Okay.
Outside the cork. The bottle is to be kept airtight, which can be achieved by applying grease or Vaseline around the rim of the mouth of the bottle. Make sure that the outside air does not come in contact with the leaf in the bottle. Keep this unit in the sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. After 3 to 4 hours, detach the leaf from the plant and take it out of the bottle. Test it for starch with iodine solution. We'll observe that the part of the leaf which was inside the bottle does not turn deep blue. However, the part of the leaf that was exposed to the surroundings prepares starch, and so turns deep blue. Note that both halves of the leaf receive the same amount of sunlight and water, and both have chloroplasts. However, the portion of the leaf that was inside the bottle could not receive carbon dioxide. This proves that green leaves can perform photosynthesis only in the presence of carbon dioxide.
So carbon dioxide is present, otherwise photosynthesis is done, starch is produced, and if it was not present, then starch would have not been produced. Okay, so it says that plants absorb carbon dioxide from the air through small pores called stomata. Singular is stoma, present on the leaves, the lower surface of the leaf. Stomatas are present on the lower surface of leaf. Figure shows the structure of stomata as seen under a microscope. I have forgotten to paste a picture of a stomata, but we have just now seen the picture of a stomata in that video. Okay. Now let's see the presence of water. It says that it is absorbed from the soil by the root stems. This is the most important characteristics. The presence of water, my dear students, is very obvious thing. We don't need to do experiment to check. We can simply put a plant and stop watering it, and we can see that it will die, it will stop producing food. That means water is very essential for photosynthesis. Okay, so we don't need any experiment to prove it. Then one last thing, not one last thing, sunlight and chlorophyll, two things are left. So let's check the presence of sunlight. It is main source of energy for photosynthesis. Sunlight is the source of energy, just like liquid petroleum, LPG, which is the source for making food at our houses. Okay, sunlight is the source of energy for plants.
To show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Materials required:
We don't need the materials required. Test tube. Okay.
alcohol, dark room for 24 process. Take a healthy potted plant and keep it in dark room for 24 hours.
To kill all the starch. Finish all
After
the starch.
24 hours, cover one of its leaves on the upper and lower sides with black paper pieces. Put the plant in sunlight for 3 to 4 hours. After 3 to 4 hours, pluck this leaf and remove black paper pieces from it. Now boil this leaf in water to kill it. After boiling in water, again boil it.
Leaf is boiled to soften the cell walls and all the cell walls and other membranes, to soften them, to little bit dissolve them, so that the experiment can be seen very clearly. Okay.
It in alcohol. Then wash the leaf in cold water and place it in a watch glass. Now pour some drops of iodine solution over it. Observation: the leaf which has been exposed to sunlight will turn blue. There is no change of color in the remaining part.
That means the portion which was covered with black paper does not undergo photosynthesis, and that's why it remained green, because there was no starch, because the earlier starch was killed, finished by keeping the plant for 24 hours in dark, and this time there is no starch produced in that area. That means sunlight is necessary.
Conclusion: this shows that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis.
Okay, now last one, the presence of chlorophyll. It says that the word chlorophyll is derived from two Greek words. Chloro means green and phylon means leaf, green leaves, the thing which is present in green leaves. It is a green pigment present in plants. Now let's see the experiment to verify this.
To show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Materials required: coleus plant, watch glass, test tube, 2 beakers with water, iodine solution,
We can escape.
non-green areas. Pluck a coleus leaf from plant. Coleus leaf contains both green and non-green areas. Transfer the leaf on a white sheet of paper and draw its outline. Mark the green and non-green areas carefully on it. Now boil this leaf in water to kill it. After boiling in water, Again boil it in alcohol. The purpose of boiling leaf in alcohol is that it dissolves greenish part, that is chlorophyll. Then wash the leaf in cold water and place it in a watch glass. Now pour some drops of iodine solution over it.
Beautiful.
Compare the leaf with the drawing you had made. Observation. Only those areas of the leaf become blue which were marked as green. Conclusion. This shows that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis.
Okay, this is how, my dear students, photosynthesis is done. So we saw what is the process of photosynthesis and what is produced. Starch is produced, glucose is produced, and it is converted in starch, which can be tested by the help of iodine solution. And we tested the different types of raw materials, that they are really present there or not. And I am very sure that you all must have understood that carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and sunlight is very essential for photosynthesis. Water is also very essential for photosynthesis. And this is it. If you have any confusion regarding any of these experiments or any of these concepts, please let me know in the comment section. And this is enough for today. One sentence is also there, that photosynthesis does not occur in the absence of chlorophyll. This is because chlorophyll allows plants to absorb energy from the sunlight. This is very obvious thing. Chlorophyll is the only thing which can convert only natural thing which can convert solar energy into chemical energy. Okay, so this is the end. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section, and I hope this thing helped you. Thank you very much.